Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
Have you ever sat in a room full of people and still felt completely invisible? You laugh, you nod, you play your part. But deep inside, you're whispering, "Do I even belong here?" Let me tell you something: you are not broken. You are disconnected. And what your soul is craving isn't more confidence, it's connection. Because healing doesn't happen alone. It happens in sisterhood. A few years ago, I met a woman named Maria. She had spent decades taking care of everyone else. Her children, her parents, her job. Until one day her body gave up before her heart did. When I asked her what she missed most, she said, "I miss having people who see me, not just need me." That line hit me like a thunderclap. So many women, especially in midlife, reach this quiet, aching point where they realize they've built a life full of responsibilities, but not relationships. They've been surrounded by people, but starved of belonging. And that's the difference between community and connection. Community is being around people. Connection is being seen by them. According to psychology, belonging is a biological need, not a social luxury. Our nervous system literally calms down when we feel safe, seen, and accepted. It's the antidote to shame. Because shame says, "You're not enough." And belonging whispers back, "You always were." But here's the paradox. And Brené Brown's research shows this beautifully. We can't truly belong anywhere if we're hiding parts of ourselves. Real connection requires vulnerability. Vulnerability says, "Here I am, imperfect, messy, but real." And when someone looks back and says, "Me too," that's when healing begins. Sisterhood isn't just about shared gender. It's about shared truth. It's about women holding space for one another to rise, to fall, to rebuild, and to rest. Belonging begins with you. It starts with the quiet, sometimes uncomfortable act of turning inward and asking yourself, "Do I see myself? Do I honor myself?" So many women spend decades giving away their energy, their attention, their love, without ever checking in with their own hearts. We think we have to shrink, hide, or be enough for everyone else first. But the truth is, when you abandon yourself, no community, no friend, no group will ever be able to hold you in the way your soul needs. Take a moment and picture your life. How often have you said yes to something that drained you because you feared saying no? How often have you silenced your own voice, swallowed your own needs, and put yourself last? Belonging doesn't come from sacrifice or perfection. It comes from presence, from being fully aware of who you are, what you need, and what you value. It's about leaning into yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels selfish. And here's the magic: when you start honoring yourself, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your confidence begins to ripple outward. Suddenly, you're not just in a room with people. You're present in the room. You start attracting relationships that mirror the respect, love, and understanding you've cultivated for yourself. Belonging starts as an inside job, a daily practice of saying to yourself, "I matter. I have a voice. I am worthy of connection." Because the truth is, no one can give you what you haven't already given yourself. When you take up space, when you speak your truth, when you show up authentically, even in small, quiet ways, you are already creating a ripple of belonging that others can step into. And that's where the journey to true connection begins. Vulnerability is the bridge that connects us, yet it is also the part of ourselves we are most afraid to show. For so long, we've been taught that strength is silence, that courage means hiding our pain, and that being real might push people away. But the truth is the opposite. It is precisely when we let others see our imperfections that real connection begins. Imagine carrying a heavy, invisible backpack filled with your fears, your shame, your insecurities, all by yourself. That weight keeps you small, isolated, and exhausted. Vulnerability is setting that backpack down and saying, "This is who I am. This is what I carry, and I am asking you to walk with me, not judge me." Think of the last time you shared a piece of your truth, something messy, something raw, with someone you trusted. Maybe you were afraid they would reject you or think less of you. But when you spoke honestly, did you notice what happened? Suddenly, the walls between you started to crumble. There was a pause, a soft exhale, and then the other person leaned in, saying, "Me too." That simple phrase has the power to transform loneliness into belonging. That is the power of vulnerability. It doesn't weaken us, it invites healing. And here's what most people don't realize. Vulnerability isn't just emotional, it's practical. It's saying no when everyone expects yes. It's asking for help when society teaches independence as strength. It's admitting you don't have all the answers and that you need community to walk the journey with you. Every time you allow yourself to be seen, you are practicing courage, and every time someone responds with empathy instead of judgment, you reinforce that belonging is possible. Vulnerability is scary because it feels like exposure, but it's also sacred. It's the language of connection. It says, I trust you enough to show you all of me, the beautiful and the broken. And when we lean into it over and over, we begin to understand that the relationships that matter most aren't built on perfection or pride. They're built on honesty, empathy, and the courage to be real. Sisterhood is sacred, and yet so many of us have experienced it in ways that left us bruised, disappointed, or doubting ourselves. We've been taught to compete, to compare, to measure our worth against other women. But true sisterhood is nothing like that. True sisterhood is the quiet, powerful act of showing up for one another, of creating a space where judgment doesn't exist, where empathy and compassion are the only currencies that matter. It's about seeing another woman fully, her struggles, her victories, her scars, and saying, I see you. I am here with you. You are not alone. Think about it. How often have we hidden parts of ourselves because we were afraid of being judged, misunderstood, or left out? Sisterhood gives us permission to drop the mask. It reminds us that our messiness, our mistakes, and our vulnerability are not liabilities. They are the threads that connect us. When women gather with authenticity, something extraordinary happens. The pain that once felt isolating becomes shared. The fear that felt paralyzing becomes lighter, and the joy that once felt fleeting becomes multiplied. Sisterhood also challenges us. It invites us to stretch beyond our comfort zones, to listen without offering advice, to hold space without needing to fix, to celebrate someone else's success without feeling diminished. And in return, we are lifted, strengthened, and reminded of our own worth. There is a unique magic in the energy of women supporting women, a kind of alchemy where hearts that have been hardened by life's trials soften, and souls that have been lonely for decades finally find resonance. This sacred bond isn't about proximity or numbers. It isn't about who's popular or who has the most followers. It's about presence, attentiveness, and shared humanity. It's about choosing to connect in ways that nurture, inspire, and heal over and over again. Every time we practice this kind of sisterhood, we are not just creating a relationship, we are creating a ripple of belonging that can extend far beyond ourselves, touching lives we may never even meet. Community is a healing container, and it's far more than just being surrounded by people. It's a space where safety, trust, and shared humanity exist, a place where you can show up as your authentic self without fear of judgment or rejection. Too often, we mistake business for belonging, thinking that being around others automatically fills the empty spaces inside us. But true community is measured not by numbers, but by depth, by the quality of connection, by the willingness to bear witness to one another's lives. Imagine what it feels like to be in a room where everyone is fully present, listening not just with their ears, but with their hearts. You speak your truth, no matter how messy or incomplete, and instead of silence or criticism, you are met with empathy, understanding, and affirmation. That is the container of community. That is the healing that comes when women gather to honor each other's experiences, to hold space for vulnerability, and to say, I see you, I am here with you. A community also teaches us resilience. Life is full of seasons where we feel lost, lonely, or broken. In those moments, the right community becomes our anchor. It reminds us that we are not navigating life's storms alone. It models courage and compassion, showing us how to step into our own power while holding others with tenderness. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in connection, in shared stories, in the gentle yet profound acknowledgement that our struggles, joys, and triumphs are part of a larger, shared human experience. Every time you invest in a community, you are not just receiving support, you are also contributing to a cycle of belonging that spreads far beyond your own life. It is in giving attention, listening deeply, and offering presence that we truly participate in the healing power of connection. And in doing so, we discover that the very thing we were searching for outside ourselves, safety, validation, love, has been accessible all along, waiting in the circle of hearts willing to hold one another. So here's my invitation to you. Reach out today. Text the friend you've drifted from. Start a women's circle. Join that community that scares you a little, because it might just save you a lot. Remember, this belonging doesn't ask you to fit in. It asks you to come home, to yourself, and to others who remind you that you're never alone. Because the healing power of sisterhood isn't in being perfect. It's in being together.